What is up, crew? Welcome to another episode of the Pardon My Pancreas podcast. Today we're talking about how you can beat your type 1 diabetes in a fight if it ever came up to it. Because, sometimes it feels like your blood sugars just pop you right in the face, right? And talking about how you can duck, dodge, and fight back and keep them in range, all right? So today we're talking about that. I'm excited to share it with you. And before we get into that, let's start with our theme song.
I've spent the last 10 years pushing the limits while identifying trends and patterns in my type 1 diabetes management. Follow along as I learn, apply, and share the fitness, nutrition, and lifestyle strategies that I've learned from diabetes experts around the world. The real question is, how can we live fearlessly with diabetes while maintaining stable blood sugars? This podcast is here to give you the answer. My name is Matt Vandevecht, head coach and co-founder of FTF Warrior, and welcome to Pardon My Pancreas.
All right, crew. So recently, and by recently I mean like a couple days ago, there was an event on TV, the Oscars. And at the Oscars, you may or may not be aware, but a fight broke out, and it was intense. I did not see it happen live because, quite frankly, I didn't watch, and I don't really do that typically. But it was popular news enough for me to catch wind of it on social media. And realized that without naming any names, somebody got frustrated at the host, went up on stage, smacked him in the face, and then stormed off. It was shocking to hear this story because we all thought it was scripted. Turns out it was not at all. But it got me thinking, sometimes it feels like diabetes just calmly walks up to you. You think everything's okay with blood sugars, and then pop, you get smacked in the face, and it's either your blood sugars spike through the roof, they drop through the floor, and you're thinking, what the heck just happened? I thought everything was cool. I thought we were good. And you're just going to appear out of nowhere and make my life miserable today? Has that ever felt like you with your blood sugars? Just me? No. Yeah, I'm sure you felt it too, right? Where blood sugars just do not cooperate and you're trying to figure out what the heck just happened. So similar to that event on TV, and I won't name any names, there's no need to. You can look it up, right? Oscars, what was the date? 2022, the year. But similar to that, when you're looking at how do I fight my diabetes? How do I dodge those swings and then fight back, right? How do I get back into the swing of life without having blood sugars sneak up and fight me? And one of the key components that I've chatted with my type 1 diabetic clients with is not necessarily how do you fight back, but how do you change the rules, right? You don't have to fight fair. If you're in a street fight, there's no rules to abide by. And that's a big component of diabetes is that we're given a set of rules. Right off the bat, when we're first diagnosed, they're told, okay, take insulin for your carbs. You have this insulin to carb ratio. You have these basal rates. Do your best to not go low and not go high. Good luck, right? You're given this set of rules, but not realizing that there's a whole different side of diabetes that you weren't told about. Number one, other rules that you're supposed to abide by, right? Exercise can impact blood sugars, so can sleep and different types of food and hydration and stress and the weather and oh my goodness, there's a lot to unpack, right? But the other side of that is that something we've realized recently, in recent years through research, trial and error, my own experimentation with my own blood sugars, is that you can literally manipulate your blood sugars. You can literally manipulate your insulin sensitivity. It is absolutely fantastic news because that enables us to feel empowered to actually take action on this stuff, not just let life happen to us, not let diabetes tear us down and slap us in the face, right? So instead of playing the game of diabetes with the set rules, question everything. Start there. Question everything. Why is my insulin to carb ratio 1 to 15? Why isn't it 1 to 20? Why isn't it 1 to 10? How can I adjust that? How can I manipulate that, right? Question, why can't I run a marathon? Why not? I know plenty of type 1s who've run a marathon. I've heard some of my clients tell me that their doctors told them, you just can't exercise. I'm like, can't exercise? Exercise is one of the most beneficial things you can do. Come on, right? This is just ridiculous. The misinformation out there. And so it does fall on us to discover what the true rules are, what the boundaries look like, and of course, how those rules apply to us as individuals, because we are all unique with our blood sugars. So when it comes to the conversation of how do you beat diabetes, right? The unfortunate truth is there is no cure yet. I'm going to add that in there. There's no cure yet, but What we can look at is how to change the rules so that diabetes fits into our life and not trying to force our life to fit inside the box that is diabetes, right? A lot of people are told on day one, like myself, I was told this, oh, you got to stay away from carbs. Carbs are difficult. Carbs are the devil, right? It's not that carbs are the devil. It's just that that doctor had a bias that was existing against carbohydrates, whether it was through experience, through stories, through the books that he read. Some reason encouraged him to tell me and everybody else he probably saw that day that carbs are the worst. But then, what happens the next year if alternate evidence comes out that carbs are good? Well, now he's going to start saying carbs are good, but now we've got two different sets of patients, right? So you never know 100% sure that what information you were given is 100% true. Hold on to that one. Rewind, repeat, listen to it again. It's an important lesson for you. Information changes throughout the ages. We've gone back and forth on, are eggs good for you or are they bad? Every 20 years there's a shift. So with diabetes, I want to fall back on what I said earlier. You have to learn about how to make diabetes work for your lifestyle and not trying to cram your lifestyle into that tiny box that is diabetes. Now, what do I mean by that? We gave the example of low carb, right? That looks like you altering what you want your life to look like just to fit inside of the rules of the diabetes box that you were given by the people that take care of you, your medical professionals, right? And like I said, they can be biased. So it's not always going to be true, every word that they say. Everyone's got human error to consider, right? But within the rules of diabetes, looking at, do you want to eat carbs? Yes or no? Yes? Cool. Let's figure out how to do that. Instead of cramming our life into diabetes, let's learn the strategies necessary to enjoy the carbohydrates that we so crave and so desire, right? And of course, I'm not telling you go drink soda and eat M&Ms all day long. Okay, it's not useful. It's not productive. It's not going to be healthy. But how can we look at our lives differently as what do I want and how do I get there versus what am I allowed to have and how do I fit it into that, right? So what do I want? Do I want to run a marathon? Oh, diabetics can't do it. No. They can do whatever they want. They just need the right strategy to do so. Yes, you can run a marathon. I know plenty of type 1s who have done such, and they have done incredibly well. They were safe, they were healthy, and they beat a lot of people who didn't have diabetes, which is awesome. I want to, and this is actually new, be a pilot. Now you can, right? For a little while you couldn't. And I get that there's still a few things that you can't do, like technically you can't go into the military, right? That was one of my dreams growing up. Found out you couldn't do that. I had to switch paths a little bit, right? I tried to go the route of firefighter because I was allowed to. Got pretty far, actually. I was about ready to receive an offer for a job. And then I ended up transitioning and doing this whole thing, right? Helping others living with type 1, navigate life, figure out blood sugars, get more understanding, certainty, predictability with blood sugars. This is literally what I coach people on. But within your life, what do you want? How can you adjust and pivot with your strategies to adapt to what diabetes requires of you to get that into your lifestyle versus saying, oh, how do I tone down my lifestyle to match what diabetes requests, right? So looking at, do you want to eat carbs, fats, proteins? What do you feel like eating? Let's build a strategy around that. Key note right here, different types of foods require different types of strategies. It's not that you can't have the certain types of foods, it's that they may be a little bit more difficult or maybe require a little bit of a different strategy than you were first taught. Okay, this is what I help people craft. I want to get into weightlifting. Cool, there's a strategy for that, which is different than the strategy for going for runs in the morning, right? You have to learn how to build the strategies, or obviously you can work with somebody who's figured it out like myself to teach you those things, give you the shortcut, right? But either way, it's about building strategies that match the lifestyle you want, not about shrinking your lifestyle to fit in that box of diabetes. All right, so how the heck do you beat your diabetes in a fight? You learn the strategies and you map it out beforehand. If you know that slap is coming, you catch it, you can block it, and you can return fire, right? Not that you should be seeking aggressive nature. You shouldn't be looking for a fight, right? Diabetes is something that you can coexist with, but recognizing that it is quite literally a fight for your life every day. This is why I say keep up the fight, right? This is something that we cannot ignore. We cannot get around. We cannot pretend doesn't exist, because it is there 24/7, 365 days out of the year. There are no breaks. And that's one of the things that makes this so difficult, but is also what makes you a warrior. Because you don't get any breaks, you have to choose to get up and fight every single day. So, how do you tweak the rules of the fight? You study beforehand. You learn about your opponent's moves. What's diabetes going to throw at me today? High blood sugar? I know how to attack that. I've got XYZ strategies. What do my blood sugars look like after my favorite meal? Well, it's going to be on the higher side because XYZ. So I've got strategies 1, 2, 3 to combat that. You have to have that ready plan of attack. And when you do, you're able to form the life that you want, the life that you love, and not have to worry so much about losing the fight, but more so about how do I continue the fight, to keep up the fight, and to win the fight. All right, I hope this makes sense. I hope this was helpful for you. If it was, be sure to drop a comment, drop a like. If you're on YouTube with me, hit subscribe. If you're on the podcast, do subscribe, follow along. You can always find out more information at ftfwarrior.com. We've got all of our freebies there, tons of resources for you on the YouTube, obviously, hundreds of videos for you. I hope that you're enjoying this series, and I got to bounce and chat with another client of mine, but have a fantastic rest of your day. Study up, figure out how you can build strategies to live the life that you love and not the other way around. We don't want to cram life into diabetes, all right? Build the strategies to allow yourself that freedom, that flexibility with food, exercise, lifestyle, all of the above, all right? You're awesome. Have an amazing rest of your day. I'll see you guys next week. And be sure to check out ftfwarrior.com. Subscribe if you have not yet. Hit that button right there, or there, somewhere it's on the screen. I don't know. Hit that. I'll see you guys next time. And keep up the fight.